believe, and then what you have faith for. That ability to act is unprecedented in creating the miracle. Because it's not imagination that creates a career. It's not imagination that creates a business. It's not imagination that creates a customer base. It's using your imagination and finally putting it to work. But you have the ability to do that. Fortunately, in Herbalife, you can do it part-time. If you have to get started with limited time, you just make the limited time pay. You know, before you go to work, during your lunch hour, in the evenings, on the weekends, little pieces of time that you find something to do that will start your career, keep it going, and keep the momentum high. Your ability to act can develop all of the disciplines, because you cannot learn the disciplines unless you actually do the work, unless you actually do the action. It's like learning to communicate. Way back in those early days, I had a tough time. You know, I described it one time, my first meeting, I stood up, my mind sat back down, left me standing there. I opened my mouth and nothing came out. My knees are banging together. The sweat's pouring off my face. I'm scared. It's called terror, right? Those first few times. But sure enough, I did it again. I worked up the courage to do it the third time and the fourth time. And that was about 35, 36 years ago. I'm glad you were not in on my first presentation. And now much more confidence all these years later, because I have acted on practicing my skills to communicate. But you've got the ability to do that. You've got the power and the ability to create a career that will serve you well for whatever time you want to spend in developing this career. You have the ability to develop an enterprise, a business, to be in business for yourself. Mark Hughes has created this incredible enterprise called Herbalife. At first, it was a dream. At first, he thought about it. He saw other people that had tried. Some of them had tried and failed, and he said, I'm going to try and succeed. But first, it was a vision in his mind. Then he went to work on that vision, and now look what's happened all of these years later. And Mark's testimonial is just like yours and mine. If we can do it, you can do it. If we can start, you can start. If we can believe, you can believe. If we can try, you can try. And if we can try again, you can try again. If you can keep trying until finally it gets easier, finally the skills start to develop, if any of us can do it, you can do it. You have the ability to develop these disciplines that create value in your life. The disciplines, learning how to sell, learning how to get customers, learning how to build that customer base, the skills of learning how to recruit. You can learn to do that. You have the power to do that. Learning how to serve your organization well, learning how to communicate, learning how to organize the people that you put together, learning how to keep in touch. All of that is within your personal power. So I wanted to remind you one more time of all of the power that's available. First, the market power. Second, the capital power. Third, the Herbalife power. And fourth, your personal power. If you put all of that together and just think about it a little more now than you have maybe in the past, there's no reason why you can't have all of the business you want, all of the success you want. And I'm telling you, there never was a better year to do it than this year. This is the year of high intensity. This is the year of formulating the dreams of doing billions in sales as a company around the world. But it's also the vision of helping each Herbalife distributor, each customer get maximum benefit from products, and each distributor to get maximum benefit from the opportunity. That's what we're all about. And with this kind of power, especially for you personally, there's no reason why you cannot dramatically, this year especially, affect your own life. And by that, affect the lives of the people that you want to touch in the years to come. Here are some of my suggestions for this year to make this an even better year than perhaps you had decided to make it when the year first began. And here's this list. I'd like to have you take some notes. If you're ready to take notes, I'm ready to share with you my list. How to make this a fantastic year for you, cashing in on all of the power, all of the intensity, the momentum that Herbalife has going for it at the time. Here's the first one. Review your performance. Even when you first get started and you're out there just starting to learn the Herbalife skills, just starting to put it all together, you have to pause every once in a while and ask, how am I doing? And sometimes this kind of personal inspection of ourselves can be very valuable, because what you want to do is to overcome your mistakes as early as possible. In my first year learning to recruit, learning to sell, all those years ago, I remember some habits that I got into, especially that first year, that I had to, by the time that year was finished, take a look at and start to make changes. And if you can make those changes as early as possible, then those changes can give you more value to cash in on for the future. So that's a good one. Review your performance. Mark Hughes does it. Dr. Katzen does it. All of us do it. The leaders in Herbalife have learned to do it, to sit down once in a while and take a look at your own performance, what you're doing, what you're saying, and how you're saying it. That's vitally important, especially if you'd like to be an effective leader for the future. Review your performance. Give yourself a grade at the end of the day, just personally between you and yourself. Would I give myself an A or an A+ for today's activity? Would I give myself a B? Okay. Would I give myself a C? Passable. Or did I sort of mess up some things today that I don't feel that good about? Not something you have to publicize. Not something that you have to perhaps let anyone else know about it, just so you know about it. Every once in a while, take the time to check your own performance and review how you're doing. A very famous man, Dr. Schuller, I was traveling with him one time in Singapore and Kuala Lumpur. And I remember after we finished those two occasions, we had about 3,000 in each seminar. This very famous man, who's been out there lecturing and teaching for the last 35, 40 years, and he's famous around the world, has a famous church in America. As we were talking after the session in Singapore, he said, you know, Mr. Rohn, I think my presentation in Kuala Lumpur on the scale of 1 to 10 was only about a 6. He said, I got to talking politics and I should have left those subjects alone, and that got me a little bit distracted. And if I was to evaluate my performance, my presentation in Kuala Lumpur, he said, I think it was probably about a 6. But he said, here in Singapore, the one we just completed, I felt good about. And if I was to evaluate my presentation here, I think on the scale of 1 to 10, it was about a 9. And I had to agree with him. Those numbers were probably pretty true. But here's what was interesting. This famous man, been famous for many years, lecturing around the world, was still judging his own performance, still taking a critical look at how he was doing, whether or not he was distracted, whether or not he was talking about subjects he should have left alone, especially in that particular country. And I thought, how amazing. No wonder he's famous. No wonder he's thought of well around the entire world, because he's still judging his performance. I want to do the same with my performance. Am I better this year than I was last year? Have I taken off some of the sharp edges that were there a couple of years ago? Is it getting a little better in my own presentation, my own performance? And not only my performance on the platform and on the stage, but most important is your performance in dealing with people one-on-one, dealing with people in a small group. Sometimes that performance, that situation is even more important, than doing the performance on the stage in Barcelona or Japan or Orlando. Because the few that you might have around that could become the big leaders in your organization for the future, the performance you have there, what you say there, how you say it there, can be just as important and perhaps even more important than your performance on the stage when there's 1,000 people to listen. But I think that's a good thing to consider as you move through the year. Take some time to review your performance. Also, in reviewing your performance, it's not a bad idea to have some people around you that you trust their counsel, and let them help to evaluate your performance. And here's why. Sometimes when we're so busy during the day and we're so busy and when we're doing the meeting, it's hard to sort of think about how we're doing. We just go do it. But someone who might observe some things that we don't think about might be able to give us some very wise advice. So those that are close around you, don't hesitate to ask them, how did I do? How was that presentation? How was that training class? How was my workshop? Was it okay? What kind of grade would you give me? Or on the scale of 1 to 10, how would you evaluate my performance? And if it's someone you trust that can give you good feedback on your performance, your language, your style, how you make the presentation, your attitude and how it comes across, your personality, maybe some things that they can see that you can't see. Because sometimes we get so involved we can't see it ourselves. But someone else on sort of the outside looking in can observe. Not to tear you down, but to give you some good feedback and some wise advice. This is a good one, reviewing your performance with yourself and with the help of others that are around you that can give you wise advice.
What up? What up? What up? We got low numbers today. It's only 3 of us on the call today. Weird. That's fine. That's all right. That means we can get through everything faster and get on with our days. Welcome to the call, you guys. Sunday. It is February. What is it? Let me see. Hold up. Don't tell me. I can just look at my computer. What am I doing? 10th. February 10th. Yeah, man. As you guys heard, if you guys were on the call earlier, you guys heard what he said about the magic of starting part-time, right? Doing the business part-time is very, very monumental when you speak to people about you doing it part-time. Because it's like, yo, you can be like, everybody has a full-time job or something to where they put in hours during the week, other than Herbalife where they earn income. Nobody's doing Herbalife full-time here. I think maybe Bridget slightly or whatever. But anyway, the magic of part-time, right? So when you talk to people and saying like, yo, I made $600 last month part-time, that is what's going to interest people about the business and what you're doing, right? Because if you tell somebody, hey, last month with Herbalife, I made $500, $600 full-time, that's not necessarily exciting. You know what I'm saying? If somebody told you, yo, I made $500 full-time last month doing entrepreneurship, you're not going to want to do that thing that they're doing because it's like $500 full-time. Like, come on now, that's not even worth the time. But when you speak about it saying, oh, I did it part-time, that could be interesting because when you say part-time, they don't know how many hours you put in. They don't know the frequency of the action that you're taking. All they know is part-time. And to them, that could mean very little time or just when they want to work it, which is the actual truth, right? So when you talk to people about part-time, the magic of part-time is super key. I always tell people, even no matter what, like I still tell them, oh yeah, I do Herbalife part-time. I made an extra $2,300 last month, right? When somebody says, yo, I made an extra $2,300 last month part-time, they want to know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So that's very, very key. Make sure you guys always tell people last month I made X amount of dollars part-time. And that'll get them going about what you're doing. You don't want to say full-time, obviously. Well, if you are full-time, you will speak about going full-time. But I would assume most of us that are on this call are in the Bay Area. And if you're doing full-time Herbalife, you're probably making about like $3,500. 4,000 if you're doing it full time in the Bay. You know what I'm saying? And that can get people excited too, because at that moment when you're talking about, oh, I made 3,500, 4,000 last month, that's more than what a lot of people make at their full-time job. You know what I'm saying? I don't know the numbers of how much 4,000 breaks down to. What, 1,000 a week? What is 1,000 a week divided by 4? Let me see. Or 40, I mean, divided by 40. That's 25 an hour. A lot of people are not making 25 an hour. You know what I'm saying? Some people are, but a lot of people would kill for a job that's making 25 an hour. So, and that's before taxes, obviously. So after taxes, you'll be making whatever, whatever that may be, depending on what you set up. But that's basically saying, yo, I make 25 an hour doing Herbalife full time. I own my time freedom. I don't have to clock in nowhere. I'm having fun. I'm working out. I'm meeting people. I'm enjoying my life and enjoying what I do. That's exciting for somebody, right? And now 4,000 for somebody might not be full time, but that would be enough for them to do something else. That would be enough for them to get that extra car, pay on their mortgage, save money, pay off credit card bills, loans, debt, whatever, right? So speak about what you're doing and the power of what you're doing. So if you're doing it part-time, speak about it part-time. If you're doing it full-time, make sure that, you know, it's worth it, right? Obviously. And also, like he was saying, this is going to be the year of intensity, right? I've already declared that myself, and I would assume the rest of you guys have declared this as you're going for your goals and your, you know, your cuts or for whatever that you're going for. Senior consultant, qualified producer, supervisor, cuts 2,500, world team, active world team, get team, millionaire team, president's team, all the way up, right? The year of intensity, and this is also the year of every distributor getting helped, every distributor being plugged in. So I'm committed to helping every distributor on the call, every distributor in the organization, if they want help. Obviously, you know, I'm not going to give out help if they're not accepting it. But definitely for anybody that's hungry, definitely anybody that you guys sponsor, right, that you want to introduce, just get them going, right? Not saying that you guys can't get them going, but you know what I'm saying. You want to introduce them to the upline or whatever the case may be. I'm committed to helping every distributor get started powerfully, every distributor to hit their goals, and every frontline get to their goals, right? That's what I'm committed to. But yeah, that's pretty much it about that. Jerry Cooper, active world team member, been in the business 4.5, almost 5 years. Been an amazing ride so far. The last year and a half, the last year and, well, we can just say 14 months. The last 14 months been crazy. A lot of action been going on, a lot of influx of people, a lot of people doing a lot of work, a lot of people sponsoring people. And it's been amazing, you know what I'm saying? And it's all happened just because I decided to go after it. It happened because I decided that I was worth it, because I knew that for me, I didn't want to work a job. You know what I'm saying? I never imagined myself working in the office, driving in traffic every day, and being there 8 to 10 hours just to make enough money, just to pay enough bills, just to get up and do it again and not live life. Right. So for me, the opportunity to create my own income, to take my legacy into my own hands, to create an organization full of people that were like-minded like me was super exciting. So I took that on, and even more so last year, to create what we have today with people sponsoring other people, team members being born into the organization, right? That's super dope. And, you know, us traveling, doing things as a team, you know, we're about to go to Chicago for those of us that are going in like 3 days, you know what I'm saying? So that's super dope to learn about how to grow this business even bigger than what it is now, to help our communities, to change our lives, to change our families' lives, and to have our names live forever and be forever etched in history, right? That's what it's about, because it's like, what's the point of doing it if we're not going to be legendary? You know what I'm saying? What's the point of doing it if people aren't going to talk about the things that we did? What's the point of building this huge organization before people cannot talk about, oh, when it was us on the call, when it was the core main group of the gang organization? You know what I'm saying? That's the thing that we want people to talk about. That's the legendary stuff that it comes down to. But also behind that is the legendary work, obviously. But that's all hearsay, she say. You know, everybody knows that so far. But check it out. We had some events going on over this past weekend, and we had some last week. And Takesha, I know I just remembered this the other day. We were supposed to hear from you when you was with Jerry at Future Press Team in Vegas. What was that, 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago, right? Something like that. Yeah. So we got you. We got Bridget with her shares from LASTS Long Beach, and yeah, so go ahead, and either one of you two can go and give us anything that you got. We would love to hear it.
I'll start. She's just a face over there like she doesn't know what she wants to say. So I went to Long Beach STS yesterday. It was really special for a lot of reasons, but the speaker was Carla Ignolio, who, I mean, aside from just being an amazing person and personality. She has quite the extraordinary Herbalife story. She started the business when she was 21 and has now been in the business for going on 38 years. So she is one of the OGs of Herbalife. She's one of the main people left. She was sponsored by Mark Hughes. She started the products because she was having a lot of issues with her weight after using a medication for a long time that had to do with her circulation. And her doctor recommended Herbalife out of all of the products available at the time. And she started using them, and within about a week, people at her waitressing job were noticing her energy was different. She felt better, this and that. So she got into the business. She wanted to be Mark Hughes' friend. So that's why she started for real, other than the fact that she felt great, but she was like, this guy is amazing. I want to be his friend. So one of the first lessons that she imparted is that people might not even see the opportunity. Like, she lost weight, she got results, people were talking about it, but she wanted to be friends with the person that she knew in the business. So that's like the first thing that you need to do with people is make this opportunity seem fun and make it sound simple and easy to them, so that it's not like a daunting task, like they're trying to be your friend and then they're gonna have to go do this difficult thing. No, they get to be your friend, and then you get to do all this fun stuff together. So that's one of the things she was talking about, because before, obviously, it's not like Mark was posting on his social media all the time talking about like how great his life was. He was just out in public doing things, being fun, making people want to engage with him and share his time and all that. So that was like one of the first things that she really imparted, was the idea that you want to make the business come off to people as fun, simple, and easy, and that you should make it that way yourself. You should keep it simple. Obviously, there are people that are really successful because they do every single thing that you could possibly do in Herbalife, like the fit clubs, the nutrition clubs, the social media, the this and the like, all that stuff. And if that works for you, it's great. But otherwise, you just need to use the products and talk to people. Because she said even the wear, like wearing the button, that's a way to get people to engage with you, but you just end up talking to them about it. So it's a really, you use the products and you talk to people about the business and the products and the opportunity. So one of the things that she really imparted was that you need to make the products the star of the show, because they're the whole point of Herbalife. Without the products, we don't have a business. We're just selling nothing. So the products are the whole point of everything. You need to use them, you need to have results from them, and you need to be knowledgeable about them. So she actually took us through a few pointers about certain things that she wanted us to get through our heads, because she's like, I see a lot of people when I do go on social media doing these things. One of the things she wants people to stop doing is calling the Formula One a full meal with 24 vitamins and minerals. She wants us to call it a healthy meal with protein, fiber, carbohydrates, good unsaturated fats, and some vitamins and minerals, and get everybody to also use the Formula 2, because that is where the vitamins, minerals, trace elements, and herbs are. She's a woman who had like every health issue in the book, and they were all taken away with Formula 1 and Formula 2, which when she first started, they were kind of different. But she really wanted the idea to not be that people are drinking tea, shakes, and aloe, because it's way more than that. And she wants us to understand that people are going to be more likely to just jump on a program if they understand that it's not like, here, you drink this shake and you get all better. Because people generally want to know what they're consuming, especially in this day and age. So understand the products that you're selling. Obviously, it's good to know so you can advertise it. But it's also good to know just so that when people ask questions, it's not like, yeah, Formula 1 has everything that a healthy meal should have. Because it doesn't. And Formula 2 makes up for that. So then it's like a bundle. You sell 2 products. Obviously, more volume points, more money. So there you go. It's also important because a lot of health nuts, she's a health nut. She said that. She's like, I got way into nutrition and being a holistic health person, which a lot of holistic health people look down on Herbalife because of all the controversy. But what holistic health people, and I used to be one of them, when I started, I was like, Jerry, I'm not trying to use supplements, like whatever. It takes 4,000 calories of organic food to get the nutrients provided to you in a serving of Formula 1 and Formula 2. 4,000 calories. That's double the calories that the average person is supposed to intake in a day. So most people with their unprocessed foods aren't getting all of the nutrients that your average American needs in 2019. And people that say, oh, I can get it all. No, you can't, because this isn't the 1950s. Food is processed differently, whether it's organic or whether it's processed in a facility. So you aren't getting the nutrients that you need because it's just stripped, because soil's different, all that shit's different. You need Formula 1 and Formula 2. Okay, aside from that product ranting, her general points were just that there's two things we do in this business. You retail the product and you sponsor other people to retail the product. That's all you need to worry about, because everything else is just going to fall in line underneath it. If you sell the products to people and then you sponsor them a month, 2 months, 2 days, whatever later, they're going to retail the product and then your business is going to grow. You don't need to focus so much on the numbers and breaking it down, and because like she said, it should be fun, simple, and easy. And the quicker you get that through your head and that you set your intention and make it fun, simple, and easy, the quicker other people are going to be on it. Because people don't want a part-time job. It's like Jerry said, they don't want a part-time job or a full-time job, whatever, that A, doesn't get them results, and B, is difficult and stressful. So you have to make it fun, simple, and easy. And that's kind of what Jerry and I have been working on with this whole ebook thing. We'll talk about that another time. But anyway, so it's an emotional business. No one can tell you your results aren't real. If you use the product, talk to people about it, retail the product, and then sponsor other people to retail, you'll be successful. She just imparted the idea that results give you the strength and confidence and belief that you need. She also suggested having inventory so that you can be motivated to get rid of it. You know, if you invest in something, you're going to be motivated to use it. If you invest in products that you need to sell, you're going to be more motivated to sell it, because nobody wants it sitting there burning a hole in their pocket. So get the money back. Sorry, I got a little off here going around. You need to make sure your business is fun. Oh yeah, business of duplication. We've heard that a million times. And it's easy to duplicate something that's simple and easy. That's like, honestly, everything came back to just make it fun, simple, easy. She said magical a few times, but you know, this isn't like Disneyland, but whatever. So if you didn't know, just some fast facts about Herbalife, because these are just fun things that somebody that was there can actually give you. First of all, she was the 50th President's team member. She got pinned by Mark Hughes himself in Hawaii. Fun fact. So Herbalife was actually the name for Mark Hughes's distributorship, because he was, like all of us, a distributor first. So that's like mine is B. Devaney Herbalife. And so his was like Herbalife. Like that's where the actual name of the business came from, because the government needed something to put for his tax information. So that's like actually his grandfather came up with that idea to call it Herbalife. In his first 6 months, he had 196 people in his first line that he had sponsored. In the next year, 16 of those became supervisors, and then 7 of them dropped out within like the first year of him doing Herbalife. So he ended up, and this whole business was built from 9 first-line supervisors. From there, obviously, we've seen how far it's come, but it just comes back to the idea that you don't give up. You don't set an end date for when, if I don't have it by here, I'm going to be done. You just keep going, because those 7 people who dropped out and the other, however, 100 and whatever, that just didn't even try to become a supervisor in the first place, I guarantee you they don't have as much money right now as they could have if they just stuck it out. Whether they liked it or not, whatever their issue was, you don't set an end date for this, because we're all going to get there, like we've said time and time again. And this comes from somebody who's been in it for 37 years. She retired for 17 to raise her kids, but then she came back. She just hit her 3 million lifetime achievement. She's like, could you all imagine what my lifetime achievement would have been if I hadn't stopped for 17 years? Like, so anyway, I'm like doing what she was doing yesterday. I'm like going around in circles, kind of not really talking about anything. And yeah, so anyway, don't give up. That was that point. The other thing she was talking about is that the importance of the button, the whole wear part of it, and how it just leads to talk. In the 5th year of business, we were open in 2 countries, the US and Canada. And in the 5th year, we opened in Australia. And that happened because one of Mark's distributors wore a button on a trip to Australia, and the people were all asking about it there. And she was like, I'm sorry, we aren't in Australia. And so she brought it back to Mark, and he ended up making it happen that we opened in Australia. So that was another one of the whole, like, you don't know what the button's going to do for you, so always have it on. Even if you don't end up talking to anybody, you might actually open us up in another country. She was also imparting the idea that it's cool to be in 90 plus countries, and it's cool to make $7.7 billion, but those numbers, 7.7 billion, should be the US alone. And we need to be the generation that gets us into 200 countries. 90 isn't good enough. So you have to have that big ass vision. It's easy for someone that's been in the business 37 years to say that, yeah. But we need to be the people with that huge vision that just wants to push the boundaries. One of my distributors is like, my cousin's in the Seychelles, those little tiny islands off Madagascar. And he's like, it's not there, but he wants to do it. And I was like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. Now I'm going to be like Carla and just push the boundaries, like call up Herbalife, be like, yo, we need to be in the Seychelles. So, I just dropped my book. I'm getting really excited. There's only one problem in Herbalife, and that is not having enough people to talk to. So that's not a problem with social media that any of us should be having. If you were at JKO, we talked about this, or Super talked about it, the Sinaloa, the strength in numbers and law of averages. So if you have a deep pool of people, which is like 25 to 30 consistent people, that's much better than having a shallow pool of 5 to 7 clients, consistent people a month. So obviously, if at any moment one of those people drops out or 2 of those people drops out in a shallow pool, you're kind of screwed. So you need to keep getting the numbers. You need to keep having people to talk to, even if they're not into it yet. The guy I posted in the chat, Damon, I've been talking to him for like 2 months, and he kept on saying, no, I work. And then yesterday, out of nowhere, because I posted that I was at the event, he texted me and was like, all right, I'm going to get started, and if I like the products after a week, I'll join the business. And I was like, oh my God, okay, like, sounds good, here we go. So it's just that thing that you never know when one of the people that you're talking to, hashtag Bridget with Jerry, is just going to say, fuck it, let's just do it. And here I am almost a year later, and I'm all into it. And, you know, you just keep talking to people. Okay. So hang around the business, retail and sponsor, be consistent and persistent. Let's see. Sorry, I just want to make sure I don't miss any of the good things that she said. Oh, one of the things she suggested with the trial packs, except that she didn't call it, she said, don't call it a trial. Sell them for $25 and tell people that the only thing that you need to do for 6 days is have the Formula One and the tea, or the concentrate. She called it herbal concentrate. She's like, some people don't want to drink tea. So have the healthy meal for 6 days. They're going to feel a difference if they do that. And that's the only thing that they changed. So they have to admit that it was the Herbalife that changed how they felt. Because if they don't change the workouts, the diet, this and that, and on and on, they still eat their Big Mac for lunch, but because they had their healthy meal for breakfast, they already feel way better. They go, maybe I should change everything. And then you say, well, I will let you, since you finished it, I will let you order a full thing. I won't make you do the 6-day challenge again. You can get a full program now. So you make it seem like you're giving them the privilege of being on Herbalife now that they've proven they're able to do it. So she said, kind of work it and make it something that works for you. She went over a bunch of product stuff, this, that, on and on. It's not what you say to people about the products, it's what you feel about the products, which obviously goes back to actually using the products. She said to write down where you're going to be in the next year. So I wrote, I will be at the next Future Presidents Team Retreat, because then Style got up on stage and brought a couple people with him who were at the Future Press Team Retreat in Las Vegas. And they all talked about how amazing it was, but how they couldn't actually really tell how amazing it was because you just have to be there to experience how amazing it is. So we were all just like, well, Dan, tell us how you got there. So it was like Taro and Ali and a couple other people. Anyway, so I'm just going to go over what they said really fast, and then I promise I'll be done. So between all of them, they said create an action plan and structure and do everything that you can. That kind of goes against Carla's whole fun, simple, easy thing, but if it works for you, it works for you. Plug into the structure. So that's what Jerry and I are working on with the playbook. Go to events and take people with you. Take people with you, take people with you, take people with you. Because people don't buy in unless they show up at an event where somebody is being pinned with 3 million lifetime achievement, or Nicole Lakin's being pinned president's team, and they go, oh my God, I want that to be me. So, and then you have to believe in what your vision is. So obviously you have to plug into your structure and know what your vision is to even get there. Have a DMO with daily activities, make a mission statement for the team, which this is all going into the playbook. And then act today, not tomorrow, because tomorrow might not happen. Something might happen tomorrow that prevents you from doing it when you could have done it today. And then just the last thing that Carla said when she came up is that Mark Hughes would always say that impossible just takes a little longer. So if you think that what you're up against is impossible, just give it a little bit more time, because it's just going to take you a little bit longer. So that's all I really got. If you ever have a chance to go listen to Carla Agnolio, I highly recommend it. She's like the most hilarious person in the whole world, and she's an Herbalife goat. So yeah, that's all I got.
Great share for sure. Before I recap on what she was saying, Takesha, do you want to go ahead and talk about your experience with Jerry at Future Press Team? Yeah, go ahead. Definitely. Oh.
Sorry. Okay. So I did have my notes. I just had to look at my notes. So I did have something to say. So it actually was 3 weeks ago. I met with Jerry Graham. And we talked for about 2 hours. So basically, he was just going over about the 2 phases of groups that he will have now. The first phase of groups are the ones basically he, put them on blast, the individuals that are in LA, and they're still on the Fit Camp model. The Instagram taking picture, it's whoa, it's me, that group. But his second phase are the ones who are going to do the nutrition club. And because he's been working with fellow other President's team members who are being successful with opening up nutrition clubs, that's the route he wants to go. So he actually broke down the numbers the way he actually would make money, but he actually gave me some numbers that I can take, I took away, and I'm sharing with you guys. So he did have one group that opened up a club, and basically they didn't do the pre-launch. He's asking anybody who's interested in opening a nutrition club, they have to do a pre-launch. So the pre-launch consists of basically 3 things. One, you need to be able to do 30K face-to-face invites. Social media, post every day on social media, and you have to have a social media page for your nutrition club. And 3, your business, basically you need to do these invites within a mile of the club. So those are the 3 things that consist of the pre-launch. So if you're willing to do those 3 things, then he wants to work with you. So basically he states, in order for you to open up a club, you need to have anywhere from 8,000 to 15,000. And he gave me the 3 phases, the 3 groups. So he has one group that did open up a club, and they're only bringing in about 60 people a day. Their profit is around $57.20 in profit, which is like $3K from the club by itself. So basically that 60K, the people that have brought in that are doing the 60 people a day, they didn't do the pre-launch. So he doesn't want to work with anyone that's not doing a pre-launch. And then he has the optimized clubs, which are model A and B. So the model A and B consist of you doing a pre-launch. So model A, you'll bring in a guaranteed of at least 100 people a day, which is an average of 6,500 a month. And then there is model B, which I'm interested in doing, and George may be interested in this as well, where you'll bring in 160 people a day, but you'll have 2 buildings, one for the Fit Club and one for the Nutrition Club. So that is an option. And I believe he said one of the young ladies that we're going to go see in Chicago, Morgan, she has a dual club. So she has a Fit Club and a Nutrition Club side by side. Your pre-launch can be anywhere from 30 to 60 days. So I believe that's about all the notes that I have. Also, the way, maybe I'll wait. I'll wait till we get there, because I don't know if it's how. So, okay, I'll go into it. So let's just say you have, like, somebody wants to come work in my club. So they said it's better to team up. So if anyone within our organization wants to come work in my club, they can come work in my club. So basically how it works is, let's say, Jerry, you want to work in my club, right? And it's my club. So Jerry, you have to pre-order your products. So you need to have your products on hand. So basically there's a storage unit, like a locker, where you have all your products. So the day you come and work, you're basically using your products to make the drinks. And then of course you're making money off the drinks. So whatever you make that day, you get, because it's your money. But the way it works, because you're under me, that if you were under me, I'm gonna still make money because you're still purchasing your products. And then while you're working, you can also get customers to either, sign up to be a distributor, or sign up to become a client and purchase the products on an ongoing basis. So I thought that was pretty cool, because they can make money that same day, make the money right back. So other than that, that's all I have. We would get more details when we go in a few days.
Definitely. Yeah, that's definitely informative. And we'll be able to definitely speak on the Nutrition Club training deeper in depth all the way a week from now, next Sunday, on the call on Sunday, because obviously it'll be 4 of us that are going. And we'll be able to speak about whatever we're going to speak about. But that's definitely cool on the Takesha's side, talking about making money. So anybody that's like, you guys got to think like, okay, like college kids, kids that just graduated high school, people that's looking to do something part-time, right? If you can get them, obviously as their sponsored members, right? Hey, you want to make money? Okay, cool. Come work in the club. And then if the club is popping, if you got a lot of people coming through, right? 100 people, 160 people, anywhere within that range, that person can walk away with, I've heard Jerry say, $300, $400, so just depending on how many people come or whatever. That's super dope, right? And that's nothing to do with the actual Herbalife business, them purchasing products from you, them getting on programs, them becoming preferred members, them bringing people, them signing up. That's just you hand to hand over the counter, and that's super dope. That's super dope. Love that. Definitely, that can help a lot of people. And then going back to Bridget, what she was talking about, the big thing about inventory, I was saying that a couple weeks ago, the 3-day trials, right? If you got a pack of those, if you got it, like I'm saying, and I can talk about this real quick, because if we're going to talk about it, whatever, right? You get so who's purchased a pack of 10 before? Who's purchased a pack of 10 Herbalife trials before? Okay, cool. So for those who have not, right, when you're doing face-to-face, when you're out in the marketplace, right, when you're talking to people, whether you could be at the mall, at the gym, whatever, right, it's always good to have those, because it's, what is it? I believe it's like $130, $140 for a pack of 10 trials, right? Obviously, you're going to sell each trial for $25, so you'll make $250 out of your $140. Well, from your $140, you'll make $250, which is a profit of $110, right? Cool, for sure. So now you give out 10 trials. You're supposed to get the numbers, the ratio, the average goes for every 10 trials out. For every 10 trials out, you'll get 5 clients and 1 distributor from the 10 that you give out. And that's cool, because you didn't double it up. You didn't give out the 10, you didn't got the money. You just go purchase another pack of 10, or you can purchase 2 if that's how you're doing it, right? Or you can, like you're saying, a pack of 10. keep the 110 in your pocket, do whatever you got to do with that, whatever, right? You know what I'm saying? And then just keep maneuvering like that. So that way you making money on the daily, because it's not hard to get somebody to give you $25, $20, right? Who can sell something for $20, $25 if you had the opportunity to do so, right? That's not hard to do that. So if you do that every day throughout the week, if you're committed to getting 2 trials out every day throughout the week, whatever, maybe it's not, maybe you do it Monday and you don't get it Tuesday, you get it Wednesday. Maybe you don't get it for 2 days, then you double up Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You know what I'm saying? You got your 10 trials out, and that's the real. So now you got 10 people that's trying Herbalife, 10 people that can possibly talk to about what you're doing, 10 people that can refer you to their friends, their family, whatever the case may be, to get your name out in the community more. Obviously, though, you need to be doing face-to-face for that to be happening for you, right? So riding with those in your trunk all the time, so whenever you have that conversation, because you can never know when the conversation is going to happen. You know what I'm saying? If you weren't your button, like I'm saying, you'll never know. But at least you'll be prepared not only with the spiel about what you're going to do, your 30-second story, but also, yo, if you want to get it popping, I got trials right here, $25. Oh, you ain't got 25? For you, I'll give it to you for 20, right? That's how you got to word it. For you, I actually learned that from Pat. To be real, he actually taught me that a while ago. He was all like, and I told you guys this too. Yeah, so we already know, right? When we get people on the program, we're going to give them the products, the workout plan, the nutrition plan, the snack list, all that great stuff, right? We already know we're going to do that for them. But I remember when I first started, Pat was like, listen, to make them really feel good, he's like, yeah, you're going to get the products, and for you, I'll give you a free workout plan, free nutrition plan, free snack list, you know what I'm saying, free grocery list. So it just make it sound like way more value for you. I got you. This is not for everybody. So that's what I'm saying. So if somebody's like, oh, I don't got 25, listen, for you, 20 was popping. You know what I'm saying? That's the verbiage that you want to have. And that's just with being a hustler, right? Being able to maneuver throughout however it's going to go. Mark Hughes' frontline 38 years in Herbalife. That's a long time. You know what I'm saying? 38 years doing a business, because 38 years is not old if you're 38 years old or older. You know what I'm saying? But 38 years doing a business, 38 years to committing to something, that's a long time. I haven't committed to anything for 38 years. Mind you, I'm not even 38. So it's like, yo, that's a long time to commit to something. But to be in a business 38 years, to be a president's team member for, how long did she say she was a president's team member for, Bridget? 17 years? Or she's been a president's team member for 3 years? Like I told you guys. What? Oh.
She's been president's team for 33 years. But she took 17 years of retirement because she wanted to raise her children. Her 2 daughters, one of whose name is Bridget. She has great taste in baby names.
Awesome. 33 years as a president's team member. That is bananas, right? 33 years. Imagine what your life is like. Imagine how long your money is if you've been making press team money for 33 years. Imagine if you made press team money for 1 year. Imagine what your life would be like.
Herbalife made her buy a second home in San Diego because of tax reasons. They were like, you have to get a second home. So she has 2 homes, one of which is 8,000 square feet with a 4,000 square foot guest house in like the most expensive part of San Diego.
Yeah, 33 years of president's team money. That's pretty remarkable, because it's not like, because the thing about it is, once you become a president's team member, I mean, it's your organization is big enough if you've built it right. You know what I'm saying? That your organization is big enough to where there's multiple people in your downline that's no matter what, forgetting whatever you're doing. You know what I'm saying? There's people that's going to go all the way. Forget you, Jerry. Forget you, Bridget. Forget you, Jorge. Awesome, I'm glad you're my upline, but this ain't about you. This is about me. You know what I'm saying? This is about me and the people that I can help and go on the president's team or beyond, right? So if that's the case, if you have people in your downline, front line, and depth, right, that has that same mindset, You'll always have a business as long as you're doing 2,500. But this is the thing. If you're a president's team member, there's no reason why you shouldn't be doing 2,500. You've talked to so many people. You've helped so many clients, right? You've made so much money to where you can do your 2,500 and get your full 5%. You see what I'm saying? If that's the case, imagine how much money you've been making for a long period of time. Like, that's actually insane if you think about it. I can't necessarily grasp it, but just imagine making 20 bands every month for 33 years. Let me do that math real quick. Hold up. 12 times 33, 396 times 20 bands. That's almost $8 million just doing Herbalife, not including the bonuses, not including the Mark Hughes bonus awards. This is just the regular royalties. $8 million in royalties? I could do that for sure, right? Awesome. Definitely. It ain't like I'm living like a celebrity. It ain't like I'm just buying stupid chains. It ain't like I'm just buying Rarries, the whole fleet of cars, 50 cars. No, we're not celebrities. But listen, I'll take $8 million though. I can do something with $8 million. You know what I'm talking about? So imagine what that's like. And this is the thing. Mark Hughes Business, right? He sponsored 196 people. Out of the 196 people, only 9 became frontline supervisors and on to president's team. That just goes to show you that it's about quality and not necessarily quantity, right? The quality of the people that you get is, I'd rather have one person that's a ride or die than 10 people that's just out here just doing the willy-nilly. You know what I'm saying? I need the one ride or die, because if we can lock arms together, we can lock arms with somebody else. You know what I'm saying? But if you out here just doing the willy-nilly, if you out here doing this, and I'm trying to do this, we can't work. You see what I'm saying? What's going on? There's a disconnect, right? So definitely quality is important, and investing in your people is important. 9 supervisors to create, or 9 president's team members that spread out between the whole damn near 100 countries of Herbalife, right? I don't know where we stand. I don't know if Leslie Stanford, I don't even know if you guys know who Leslie Stanford is, but I don't know if Leslie Stanford is a frontline to Mark Hughes. I'm not sure. I think she might be, but Leslie Stanford is basically our Chairman's Club member. Founders Circle? Chairman's Club. Founders Circle member. Basically, Chairman's Club. So, okay, we're going to talk about this real quick. President's team is, obviously, you're the president's team. You're the 1%, right? Awesome, cool. Chairman's Club means you frontline 5 different lines of president's team, which is bananas, right? That means you help 5 people hit president's team. That's crazy. Chairman's Club is when you help 10 people frontline hit president's team. I believe Leslie Stanford is a president's team member, or a Chairman's Club member. I'm not sure, but she's our up line, which is awesome. Cool. What's his name? Andrew, what is his name? I can't think of his name, but Andrew Frick, I can't think about it. But anyway, he's from Australia, right? That goes back to what Bridget said. Duke, the person went to the country with the button on, opened up Australia. Andrew, I can't think of his name, but he is the sponsor of Mark and Jill Addy, which then goes down to Jerry Graham, which then goes down to Steph Rosen, which then goes down to Jennifer Young, Patrick Livingston, me, you guys, right? So Andrew, I can't think of his name, but Australia, right? Very importante in our lineage of how we're here, right? So it's crazy how things can transpire, and here we are today, because who knows where we would be if whoever talked to Andrew didn't sign up. You know what I'm saying? Or if it wasn't in Australia. Who knows if we would even be here, if we would be on the same team, whatever the case may be. But that's just super crazy to think about. But anyway, moving on from that. The checks dropped, right? Raise your hand if you got a check this month. Awesome. Okay. Raise your hand, or not raise your hand. If this is your biggest check or your biggest check in a while, you can speak on it if you want to. If not, that's cool. You don't have to share the amount if you're not comfortable with it. I know this is my biggest check that I've gotten in a while. My check was $915, which was super dope. Basically, that just comes from you guys making money, being happy, doing the deal, right? And my own personal production, as far as not my personal production, but as far as my preferred members, things like that, that also goes into that with the royalties, with the supervisor volume, everything like that. That's super dope. Chasing that $1,000 check, chasing that $1,500 check, chasing that $2,000 check, right? What does that mean? Frontlining more people, obviously. And understanding, right, that it's up to me if it's, okay, now imagine, it's you guys, if you're here by yourself, if you don't have a downline, if you don't have any frontline supervisors, or if you have a couple people, whatever, right? You have to realize that it's up to you to get your business off of the ground and rolling, right? And it's not up to anybody else. It's not up to your downline. It's not up to them. It's up to you to create enough momentum to sustain. Why has it happened to see? Let me tell you guys this, right? Who had a very good month last month just because it was January, right? Raise your hand if you had a good month because it was January and people was starting to get healthy, right? None of you guys? I seen the volume. Some of y'all was doing stuff. I seen the volume, right? Okay, this is the thing. Don't let the seasons determine your momentum, right? Don't let the seasons determine how hard you work and how excited you are about the business, right? Because now it's the beginning of the year. That was a lightweight bar for you guys, right? You see how I breezed over that real quick? I didn't even realize until after I said it. That was a lightweight bar for you guys. Don't let the seasons determine your momentum, right? Because think about it like this. Yeah, it's the beginning of the year, January, February, March, people are like, oh, 2019 goals, I want to get in shape, spring, summer like this and everything like that, right? When it gets to be September, right, who are you as a person and as a business man or woman in your momentum in September, right? You have to create the unwavering faith. You have to create the tenacity now that sticks with you when the season is gone, that the momentum is still there, that the spark is still there, right? That you want to be able to do this, that you're excited about the business. Because at the end of the day, like I was saying, it's up to you if you want to create this long term. Yeah, you can make some money. Yeah, it's cool. You can do this for 1, 2, 3, 4 years, right? And make some cool side money. But if you want to make this work for you in the long run, if you want to make President's Team money for 33 years, it's going to be up to you to continuously apply pressure, right? Continuously showing up, continuously doing the personal development, continuously getting new results, continuously talking to people, interacting with people all the time, right? And sponsoring people, of course, and bringing them into the business, because obviously that's how we create supervisors and create royalties and create those big checks, right? But you guys got to realize that you can't necessarily control in your organization what happens in your second and third line, right? But you definitely can control the amount of people that you're guiding to supervisor, the amount of people that you're sponsoring yourself, right? Don't sign up for the class. How many of you guys heard Jim Rohn talking about don't sign up for that class? If you've heard them say that before, raise your hand. That means, listen, nobody on this call, raise your hand. That means you don't listen to enough Jim Rohn. Because if you haven't heard Jim Rohn talking about don't sign up for that class, that means you're not doing enough personal development, right? So let me tell you about don't sign up for that class, right? How many of you guys see people on social media, you're like, oh, yo, that person got 20K followers, 30K followers. They're probably about to do a lot of volume, right? They could probably help a lot of people because they got a lot of followers, right? Don't sign up for that class of thinking that person might do 5K, right? Don't sign up for that class that person's going to be your superstar, your monster, right? Don't sign up for that class, but do sign up for the class of I'm going to sponsor 10 people. Sign up for that class because that's the class that got more stability. That's the class that more kids graduate from, right? A lot of kids don't graduate from the 10K, 15K, 20K class. You got to understand that. The law of averages is not that. There's not many monsters that you can sponsor, but you can sponsor a monstrous frontline. See what I'm saying? You can sponsor 10, 15, 20 people and have them do an average of 1,000, and you'll have your 20K frontline volume, rather than just having this one person doing the 20K. You see what I'm saying? Don't sign up for the class of, oh yeah, I'm going to sponsor a beast and they're going to take me all the way. Sign up for the class of, oh yeah, I'm going to do the action. I'm going to do the work and I'm going to show up. And then sign up for the class of, I'm going to help all of my distributors follow DAP, right? Do 500 volume points 3 months in a row, right? Because if you can sign people up, if you can sign up for that class, you can guide people to DAP, right? Obviously, with the DAP program, you guys know you guys can get to qualify for gifts along with making money, right? If you do 500 volume points 3 months in a row for the newest distributor that signs up, they can get a choice of like 3 different gifts. And I know one gift is like the headphones with the bag with the water bottle. And it's like, yo, where was DAP when I signed up? DAP was not available when I signed up, because that would have got me fired up. You know what I'm saying? Talking about, yo, if you just do 500 3 months in a row, we'll give you a bag. We'll give you a water bottle and some headphones. Listen, I would have killed for some headphones when I first started. I was working out with no headphones when I first started. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that you can qualify for that, for doing the things that you were already going to do, makes the journey a little bit more worthwhile besides just making money. You see what I'm saying? Raise your hand. Does that make sense? Right? So sign up for the class. I'm going to sponsor a gang of people, and I'm going to guide those gang of people to DAP, to supervisor, right? Get that person to 50% as fast as possible, because you want that person, because one, the shakes taste and the products taste 1,000 times better, 50% off, right? When you can buy that rebuild for 40 and not 68, it's lit. You know what I'm talking about? When you can get your prepare for 42 something and not the 85, it's lit. When you can get Prolesa for like 50 and not 105 or whatever it costs, it's popping. You see what I'm saying? We don't want our distributors, especially the people in our business, to be paying full price. We need to get them to supervisors. So you know what that means? Let's get them to make money. Set that person up powerfully. So who are you being as a sponsor, as a mentor, as a leader for your newest person? Are you doing the deal? Did you qualify for DAP, right? I was talking to Pat the other day, and he was like, and I told him, I'm like, yo, I just launched a promo, and if they do 500 more from today until EOM, it's a gift, right? And he asked me, and it's so crazy because, see, this is why it's important for him to be around, right? Because he's holding me accountable. He's like, did you even do it? I'm like, did I even do it? Now, mind you, I at the time, I didn't do it yet because it was like the first day, right? But I'm like, yo, there's no way I can let my people do it without me doing it. So what did I do? I did like 800 volume points, right? But it's just a simple fact of I'm not going to tell you guys anything that I'm not doing, right? So for your distributor, right? Your newest distributor that you sign up and you're taking them through the playbook, you're talking about the possibilities, right? You're talking to them about what it's going to be like and everything like that. How are you guiding them, and are you setting them up powerfully to be an independent distributor, right? Because obviously when you're new, you're going to ask questions, right? All of you guys that were new, everybody has called me except Aaliyah, right? Everybody has called me, yo, what do I say to this? Or how does this work or whatever, right? You guys will call me, and that's okay. Of course, that's what I'm here for. But my thing is this. Are you being that person for your team? Are you being that person for your distributor? Are you knowledgeable enough to be able to guide them without the help of me, or without the help of your upline, right? And of course, everybody needs help. I need help still, of course. But I'm saying for the basics, do you know the basics enough to guide somebody to DAP, to supervisor? Are you able to show them how to do 500 volume points, 1,000 volume points, 2,000 volume points within 2 months, or 4,000 volume points within a year? Are you capable enough to do that? And if not, you need to master the basics first. You need to get out into the streets first and actually do it. And that's going to be the part about it that's going to separate the people that's going to go up in the business and the people that's just going to maintain in the business, right? I was maintaining for a while. And I can truthfully say that I was maintaining for a while because I wasn't doing, not necessarily the basics, but I wasn't doing everything in my power. So that's what Pat was telling me the other day too. He was like, yo, out of 10, 1 being you're not doing shit, 10 meaning you're doing everything you possibly can. What are you? And I had to be real with myself. And I can't lie to him because he, like I'm saying, not that I would lie to you guys, but I could tell you guys I'm doing a lot of stuff and you guys wouldn't know because you guys don't see my numbers, right? He sees my numbers. So obviously I'm not going to lie to him or whatever case because he can call me out on it. But I'm like, yo, out of everything right now, out of a 10, I'm like an 8, bro. And he's like, listen, you got to be a 10 if you want to make it to TAP team. And I'm like, I'm up for the challenge. I'm not afraid of adversity. So I said, listen, I got to do more face-to-face. I got to personally get out into the streets more. I got to be talking to more people about the opportunity personally. Like, I do it a lot now, but it's more like piling on, applying pressure to the utmost effect, because at the end of the day, like I just said, it's up to me. I'm not going to rely on anybody else to get this going except me. I'm going to bring in so much people. It's going to be an influx of people so much that I have to focus on them, and I almost got to forget about you guys, right? Not really, but just the simple fact that I'm helping so many new people get started. You see what I'm saying? That's the kind of mindset that you got to have. If we're bringing 50 people to Extravaganza, right? In my mind, I'm bringing 30, personally, frontline, 30 me. And the rest can be filled out between the other 20. That's my mindset. But if everybody has the mindset of I'm bringing 30, we walk in the stage as a millionaire team member. You know what I'm saying? As a millionaire team organization this year, if that's the mindset that we all have, and the action follows behind the mindset. But you know, that just comes to making the decision to have that. And also with guiding, and also with sponsoring people, right? Surfing through the people to find out who's connected to their goals, right? Like Bridget said, like the woman said, what's her name? Carla? Is that what you said her name is? Carla. Okay, cool. Carla was talking about Mark Hughes. 169 people, 9 became supervisors, frontline presidents.
Sorry, 196.
196, not 69, whatever, right? 196.
Supervisors, and 7 of those supervisors left
Yeah.
in the first year.
You got to surf through the people who's connected to their goals, right? Obviously, when you frontline 10 people, it would be lovely. If you frontline 10 people this month in February, it will be lovely for you to say, oh, yeah, everybody's going to go to supervisor. Everybody's going to hit DAP, and I'm going to have 10 frontline for the rest of my life. Obviously, that would be lovely, right? That's not how it works. If I told you guys how many – listen, I just looked at the number. Me and Bridget was talking about this the other day. In my personal downline, there's like 198 people in my downline between distributors and preferred members. How many zeros you think is in there? Way more than you guys would think. Way more than half. Probably 70%. Probably 70% of the people are zeros, right? And that just comes with just the numbers. That just is the law of averages, right? So you got to remember that when you sponsor 10 people, not all 10 are going to go. Some people are going to quit. Some people are going to cat off. Some people say they're going to do stuff and not do it. They're going to have the 1 or 2 people that actually show up and that actually continue to apply pressure, right, with you. Those are the people that you have to be like this with. Out of the 10 that you sponsor, you might get, let's just say 1. Now look at it like this. If you sponsor 10 people every month, that means you sponsored 120 people throughout the year, and only 1 of every 10 showed up. That means you have 12 frontline supervisors. If you could end the year with 12 brand new frontline supervisors, it don't get too much better than that. If you think about it, imagine right now what 12 frontline active supervisors would do for you. Active, meaning they're hitting 2,500 every month. Let me do that math right now. Let me tell y'all real quick. That's a 30,000. That's a 30,000 org right there, just off the 12, right? Not including what the 12 would do, who they're sponsoring and everything like that, right? So if you can increase your organization by 30,000 every year, let me see. Let me just do some quick math. If you can increase your organization by 30,000 every year, it would take you 6.5 years to hit president's team. That's not bad at all. To hit president's team in 6.5 years? Come on now. I'm down for that. We've seen people hit it in 2. We've seen people hit it in 36. If you went to Extravaganza last year, that lady walked across stage and said, it took me 36 years to hit president's team. I'm cool with 6. I'm 100% cool with 6. I am not beefing with nobody if it took me 6 years to hit president's team, right? And that's all. And all that really means is sponsoring 12 frontline active supervisors every year, if that was the base of it. Now, obviously, the numbers are not that exact. They can be higher, they can be less. This is not including nutrition clubs or nothing like that. This is not including preferred members or nothing like that. That's just saying 12 frontline active supervisors. Every year, you personally frontline it, not including what they're going to do. So based upon your own production, it would increase 30,000, not including what your front line, second line, or third line is going to do, right? And that's just crazy to think about. So keep that in mind, right? Frontline 10 people, 1 will come with you. You should be okay with the 1 if you frontline 10. You see what I'm saying? But if you only talk to 3 and you frontline none, you know what I'm saying? If that's equivalent to your goals, then you're all right. But if you're talking about you want to change your life, then maybe you need to talk to a little bit more. You see what I'm saying? And all of that, my friends, comes from obviously starting your day powerfully, having the best day ever, right? To go out and talk to people. So think about it like this. What does your best day look like when you start the morning, right? What does it look like? Do you have your personal development plan in the background? Are you, when you're making your tea a certain way, when you're making your shake a certain way, it's your favorite flavor, you know what I'm saying? I know for me personally, I can't listen to personal development for an hour, right? I can't do that. I can give a good 15, 20, and then I'm ready to get on my trap music, right? Because that's what gets me going in the morning, right? You guys, for those of Jorge, you guys know that if we sat in the hotel together, you guys know. Jim Rohn or whoever, Mark Hughes in the morning, awesome. The 1 or 2 clips is over. Give me my trap music, because now I'm starting my best day ever. Now I got the structure of the Herbalife business. Yeah, this is how. And then I got the trap music, which is giving me the action about it. That's getting me fired up about doing it. You see what I'm saying? Got my tea, lemon tea with the pomegranate lift off. And if it's a real good day, we got cranberry aloe with it. You know what I'm saying? We got roasted peanut with vanilla protein. You see what I'm saying? I put on a nice gym outfit. I'm about to go to the gym early in the morning and get it popping, get back to my house, take a shower, eat. Now I'm ready to go out and talk to people, because now I set my morning up. Now I'm having the best day ever. I might talk to somebody at the gym. I didn't post on Instagram 2 or 3 times. You know what I'm saying? People seeing what I got going on. I'm having the best day ever as of today, right? I can't say what the best day ever looks like as a presidency member, because I'm not there yet. But today, that's what the best day looks like for me, to set myself up in the most powerful way to present myself to the world with value. You see what I'm saying? To talk to people about what I'm doing and how you can get involved in it. To talk about change. To talk about prosperity. To talk about legacy. To talk about to help you make $250 this month. To talk about helping you get abs. To talk about helping you slim that waist down. To talk about us going on the next trip to Chicago in 0-degree weather, right? To talk about going to Extravaganza in New Orleans, Bourbon Street, right? Humidity, Mardi Gras, right? Talking about that, talking about how the house is going to be with 50 people in there and we all one team and it's lit, right? Talking about what it's going to be like only happens from me starting off myself as the best day, filling up my own cup, right? You can't wake up in the morning and start serving people immediately. No, you got to get yourself right first. That's what I'm saying. How does your best day start off? And keep that every morning as strong as you can. Now, I get it. Sometimes in the morning, it doesn't always go like that. But it's up to you to make sure it happens like that as much as it can, because nothing is perfect. But it's up to you to control. Marcus, what was that? Marcus, what was that quote that, I don't know if he's listening right now. I know he got his face off the camera, but that me and Marcus went to this, we was at the gym like 2 weeks ago, some shit like that. And this guy, this bodybuilder, gave us a nugget, and I forgot what it was. It was saying something to the fact of, I have to ask him, but it was something about control and being perfect. Marcus, what was it? Tell us, Marcus. I know you remember it.
Oh, you're talking about big buff dude, right?
Yeah, something like a fact that anything that you can control, do it perfectly, and anything that you can't control, give it your all. Something like that.
anything that you can do it perfectly. And if you can do it perfectly, you can control it to make it better.
Right. If you can start your morning off perfectly, do it. But if you can't, control it as much as you can. Don't let your day run away from you, right? Because that can happen to a lot of people. That's happened to me. Raise your hand if the day just got away from you before, right? You're like, what the hell just happened? What am I doing? I was supposed to do this, and none of that happened. The day ran away from you, and that's all right. That's cool. It happens to the best of us. But how can you set yourself up the next day? Don't beat yourself up over this day. It's already gone. It already happened. It already happened. So now you have a new opportunity. You have another 24 hours to set yourself up powerfully today or tomorrow, right? And that's the mindset that you want to have. Boom, no. Everything is good. All questions is good questions. If you have any questions, let me know. Talk to me. If we ain't got no questions, we can get it popping. Jorge, I see you unmuting. Possibly, or you just adjusting? Okay, you adjusting the camera. Cool. All right, awesome. What?
Is you ready for Chicago?
Yeah, man, I'm ready for Chicago, bro. I'm ready to. I bought a new jacket. Like I was telling you, I bought a new jacket, bro. I'm ready. So for the call next week is going to be definitely on Nutrition Club training. What we learned from the event. So get ready for that. So I know pretty much everybody on this call is pretty much invested in doing something club-wise. So it's going to be very informational. So get your downline on the call if you have downline. And if you don't have any downline now, go talk to 10 people every day to go sponsor new downline to bring them to the call a week from now, right? So they can hear about the Nutrition Club, how they can make $400 in one day over the counter, serving shakes, having fun with you, getting in shape, helping the community out, don't have to go to a job. I made $400 today. There's some people who's making $400 a week, working 40 hours a week. And you can help this person make $400 in one day doing the business with Herbalife. But you're being selfish because you don't want to go talk to people. Because you're talking about you're scared or you're nervous or you don't know what to say. Like, dog, stop that shit. Go out there and be a dog in them streets. We talked about this last week. Sometimes it's going to take that inner dog inside of you. And whatever's going to have to provoke that to come out of you, if it's your future flashing before you, if it's going to be, fuck, I've been wasting the last 5 years of my life and I need to change it now, whatever the case may be, it has to provoke you enough to make you want to get out into them streets and do something differently than what you've been doing before. If that makes sense, right? I know it's 8:08. Shout out to Kanye. I know it's 8:08, but any questions? If not, the call will be posted in the next hour. You guys know how my internet be tripping. It'll be posted though. All questions are good questions. If you need me, please call me. Do not hesitate. It's the middle of the month. Basically, it's the middle of the month. It's a few days actually into the middle of the month. But right now, before I let you guys go, if you aren't on pace to your goals that you set for February, you still have time to create enough action for you to still hit your goals. Do not give up. It's the 10th day of the month. Even though it's a short month, do not give up on the 10th day because you're not on pace to what you said that you wanted to do. Continue to get better. Continue to apply pressure. Continue to show up. Never give up. If it takes you however long, make it be that long. I would love for it to be shorter though, but whatever. It's going to work out how it's going to work out. Anyway, I'm going to see you guys. Call me posted. Call me if you need me. Let's get it popping.